What's going on, everyone? Live from New York. It is Friday night. It is not Saturday night live, but we are in New York. At least I am. I've been holed up in this New York apartment all week, grinding it out. I had to come here briefly for some quick last-minute meetings. So I've been here and doing some last-minute meetings. If you're new to the show, my name is Nick Saponaro. This is the Divi Live at 5 monthly update. If you're new to Divi, Divi is a cryptocurrency and blockchain project that is focused on one thing and one thing only, and that is making cryptocurrency, digital assets, easy to use and accessible to everyone everywhere. As you guys know, we have our one-of-a-kind masternodes that can be set up with the click of a button from your desktop, or if you're in the United States, your mobile phone. So without further ado, let's get on into the show. I have a few housekeeping items, as I normally do. This episode is very special because it's actually today one of my best friend's birthdays, and that's Mr. Jeff McCabe. So I actually have a video that we'll play in a minute where I go into some of the details surrounding the new leadership changeover, some of the stuff in El Salvador, and some of the things that he is working on right now. I also have a second immensely special guest who I will save till the end to announce. You're going to want to stick around because he will be answering a lot of the questions that you guys have been asking for months. Right. So also, you guys already know we save the AMA till the end. So please save your questions and ask them then. We also are live tweeting the show. So if you would I'd love to see this happen. You go over there to twitter.com/Divi Project and retweet the live tweets because that gives us more visibility and puts more eyes on the live at 5. Okay, so that's the housekeeping items. I think we can get jumping into the crypto market update. All right. So some big news this week. First of all, we saw BTC go up to just over 50,000 for the first time since May as the market continues to recover. I love this. I love seeing this kind of growth in the market because it's not parabolic. I know everyone wants to see the numbers just perpetually go upwards. That's just not how markets work. So when we see this, steady inclining growth, that's very, very strong. We saw Michael Saylor added a huge amount to his pot. I think now hedge funds and large institutional investors own about 6% of the supply of Bitcoin. That shows a lot of strength and confidence in Bitcoin and a lot of waning confidence, let's say, in the dollar. In regulatory news, the UK financial regulator, the FCA, the Financial Conduct Authority in the UK, has announced that the cryptocurrency exchange Binance, who we all know, has complied with the requirements that they set forth in June. You guys may remember that back in June, Binance was quote unquote banned from the FCA, banned from operating in the UK. What's interesting about this news is that despite their compliance and despite the fact that now you have to KYC to withdraw anything over like 0.06 BTC, they still let the ban continue. So what is that saying about this, this regulatory environment? The assault on digital assets has begun. The regulatory assault has begun. But the great thing about it is you cannot regulate a blockchain. A decentralized autonomous organization will run with or without the approval of the government. Yes, there may be some struggles for the layers upon which we interact with those blockchains like Binance, but in the future, of course, those things will be smoothed out. Eventually, regulations will catch up in a more meaningful way. And this is a very, very important moment for cryptocurrency because it shows that the market is maturing in a major way. Last little bit of news that I found interesting this month was Visa purchased a CryptoPunk NFT for $150,000 USD. The NFT market is absolutely exploding, right? We already have seen some insane numbers. Sotheby's auctions for $11 million for a JPEG on a computer screen. I think Visa bought this because they've invested in a lot of strange items over the course of time, almost as like a historical time capsule that they keep within their balance sheet or whatever. It's really interesting. Drew a lot of attention, obviously, to NFTs. If you guys are into NFTs, obviously you want to do your research, be careful. Don't go crazy with money you can't afford to lose. but it is a fun space and there's a lot of great stuff happening. And I think a lot of amazing things will come out of it in the end. All right, that's it for the crypto market. Let's jump into Divi by the numbers. All right. So today, of course, we're going to jump right into the ecosystem stats. Looks like we're at 2,055 masternodes, looking good. Over 52% of those coins are in masternodes. I think we are, did we hit a new all-time high? I'm not really sure. You can let me know in the comments. If we look at all the tiers, the tier numbers, looks like Diamond is continuing to grow. So more diamonds keep coming online, which is very interesting, and that's what we like to see. All the tiers have, of course, grown. Copper still leading the charge as it is the most accessible, but it is interesting to start to see these larger nodes starting to stack up. And is that a result of people compounding? Is that a result of people acquiring? It's probably a little bit of both, but it's very interesting to watch nonetheless. If we look at masternode growth in this next chart, we can see that it just continued to grow. It only dropped there back in November of 2020 for a moment, and then again later in that winter. But for the most part, it really has just continued to grow over time. And again, it is just steady, healthy growth that we like to see. And then the last chart we want to look at is just price over time. I'm sorry, nodes growth over time, and the amount of Divi within them. So it's pretty amazing to see 56 million Divi in nodes. Moving forward, this is the price over time. Again, pretty steady price since launch. We of course love to see more growth all the time in our price, but with solid delivery of our products, I believe good things will happen. That's really not our focus, though. Our focus is really just delivering value and building things that people need. And if we look at our distribution, so nodes growth by tier, right? Like I said, we are seeing an uptick in the top tier nodes, especially recently. It's very interesting to see this distribution sort of on this log scale over time. Final thing is the ecosystem, how it's distributed between masternodes and staking, and what's just circulating. Of course, a majority is in staking right now. Is in masternodes right now. However, I believe that with the launch of staking vaults, this will begin to change, especially for the lower tiers. So I'm pretty interested to see how the ecosystem begins to evolve with the introduction of staking vaults. We'll, of course, talk about that in a little bit here in the project update. But before we get into that, I want to, first of all, give Jeff a big happy birthday. Everybody in the chat, if you guys want to sort of sing happy birthday to him in your own way by commenting, you can definitely do that. I'm sure he would really appreciate it. And we're going to jump into a video. I unfortunately had to pre-record this yesterday due to the fact that it is his birthday today and he's out celebrating. So enjoy the video and we will see you in a little bit. So first of all, happy birthday, Jeff. We're recording this one day early because tomorrow is your birthday. And when viewers see this video, you will be, I assume, partying with the who's who of crypto and celebrating. How old are you now?
Yeah, I'm 53. 53 years old. Yeah, we try
Nice.
not after when you hit 50, you're like over the hill, so you don't even want to think about it anymore. So, and every day is going faster and faster. Every year just passes by faster and faster. It's scary.
It's funny how that works. It's funny too because I met you when we started Divi. You weren't even 50 yet. I remember when you celebrated your 50th birthday.
Oh yeah, nothing to celebrate, but I did have fun that party.
So where in the world are you right now?
So I'm in Puerto Rico. I actually rented a space here with some other crypto friends who I didn't know. And it's a 5-bedroom penthouse overlooking the ocean, very close to Michael Turpin's building, so we can wave at each other from the rooftops. And my roommate scored this amazing place. So we've started to have some crypto gatherings here, and we have 2 beds open for like sort of digital nomads. And so people
Okay.
can come in and they can stay with us and just crash here and work and talk crypto all day, and it's great. So I love it. So we've had some really interesting people here, including a guy who is one of the only people who's ever done like a successful Uber competitor, and he wants to add crypto. And so we're actually going to talk about adding Divi to it because
That'll be fun.
he likes Divi. You know, everybody loves Divi that learns about it. It's just a matter of just lots and lots of follow up to get them to do it. So it's a matter of just pushing away at it. You know, eventually we need to have with Divi like a full-time team of people doing that. I mean, I would love it if just more of our fans saw themselves as unpaid, you know, employees of the Divi ecosystem that would go out and just get all these things, right? Because ultimately it's everybody else's coin. It's not just ours. And when people are looking for us to do everything on our own, then that's centralization. And we're trying to get away from that. It's against the whole point of crypto and Divi, right? So we need everybody out there. If you own crypto, you should be doing something to support your favorite coin.
Yeah, I agree. It's really the best communities are driven, or sorry, I should say the best coins are driven by the community.
Okay.
The people who build the projects can only do so much, and they really should only do so much. And I think that's a big part of kind of what we're talking about here today is the further decentralization of Divi, moving further and further toward a more distributed ecosystem, not only from a community perspective, but also from a leadership perspective, right? So,
right.
Last month we talked about how there's been a change in leadership. I've come in, I stole your old job from you.
Kick me out.
I'm just kidding. Kicked you right out the door now. No, of course, that's not what happened, right?
Yeah.
And I think
actually,
that
it was actually my suggestion, in case anybody's wondering.
yeah, it was somewhat of a shock to hear. Although I've had taken on a lot of the responsibilities and stuff like that when you would have to go travel and things of that nature. So
Right.
it wasn't like a really harsh transition for me or anything,
Yeah.
but it was in a way it was kind of an honor too to hear it come from that direction, and some of the other executives and board members coming and saying like, hey, I think this is a good path forward.
Yeah.
But obviously there's more to the story. There's a lot of things that you're still contributing on your end to Divi.
Right.
And we've had some questions, so I wanted to just like clarify on that, and maybe you could give us an update on some of the things you've been working on.
Yeah, I mean, I think of it like it's like a caveman situation. You know, we're still Divi's like living in a cave, in the primeval era of crypto. And so, and I'm like the dad, where I'm going out trying to slay random monsters and dinosaurs to bring back meat. And you're like the mom that stays home and does all the hard work and is taking care of the kids and this kind of stuff, right? So that's the way I kind of see it. And so my ventures, for Divi have kind of taken me farther and farther away from the cave. And eventually it made sense for you to just run the cave, you know what I mean? And so what I've been kind of doing is looking for other caves, looking for the bigger cave for us to move into and trying to expand our network and looking for the dragons to slay to bring back the really big deals and the really big partnerships and this kind of stuff that you can't plan, that are just random. So I'm out there wherever there's, famous crypto people or people with a lot of money that might be interested. I'm out there, meeting them, making friends, talking about Divi, and sort of improving my sort of personal brand, right? So people now know me, and I get invited to a lot of the sort of exclusive parties and events and things like this because people have learned to sort of respect my ideas as a visionary in the space. And it's working, and I think it's really working very well. I mean, for a community, I don't think they see that. Obviously, they don't see what I'm doing, but in addition to doing that, I'm also, personally funding a whole bunch of different Divi projects that are going to create a lot of different use cases for Divi. The primary one of those is Divi Go. And Divi Go, many people have seen that maybe they've ignored it or maybe people have played around with it. But Divi Go will turn out to be a big deal. And it's very important for the Divi ecosystem because we need to have a more vibrant and decentralized ecosystem. If we only have one great wallet, then it looks very centralized. So having two different wallet ecosystems that work with each other and cover different markets, because Divi Go is about being within chat apps, It allows us to cover more territory. The Divi wallet also is, it's the world's, in my opinion, from what I've seen, it's the world's best crypto wallet as far as the technology and how solid it is, as far as being unhackable and all this. But that also means it's incredibly slow to create new features, right? So with Divi Go, we don't have a front end. We can create a new feature in a weekend, literally, and then start testing it, see how it works, see how we like it, and we'll have a beta tester group that'll be very active. I've been building a whole team of people in sort of in secret to relaunch Divi Go as a big deal. It's going to have incredible amount of features and actually probably be the most full-featured wallet in the crypto world by the time we add all this stuff. Because there's no front end, we can add stuff really quickly and really easily and test it and see if people even want to use this stuff. So everything great, we can of course pass over to Divi Labs, and Divi Labs will have this amazing wallet that has the best of the best stuff, but it just moves a little slower, right? So that's basically where we're at with Divi Go, and
Nice.
there'll be a lot of announcements around that. Well, the exciting part of that is that I've been working directly with the Salvador government and their blockchain team. They know about Divi Go. We've even talked about a Chivo Go for them, possible white label or other different versions of that. So they're actually very excited about it. What that's going to turn into, I don't yet know, but I went back to El Salvador to talk to them about it. Couldn't get a meeting with them. They're so busy trying to get to their September 7th launch date. So I'm going back with a lot of Brock's team that went there before. So a bunch of us are going back September 4th to 11th for their launch, hoping that it's not going to be delayed. Because what they're trying to do is impossible in El Salvador. It would seem impossible. When you think about how long it takes to just create one feature in a good wallet like ours, they're trying to educate 6 million people and build the entire set of applications and ecosystem in 90 days. And they're, you know what I mean? Like, you can't imagine how difficult this task is. And I don't know why they decided to make it so difficult, but I think it's because they're really, really well organized. They're brilliant, the team that's been assembled there. And they're training 70,000 people to go door to door to teach them about Bitcoin. And the people are genuinely, you see the FUD in the news, but the reality is that this president in El Salvador is the most popular leader in the world, 92% approval rating. And that's from international polling organizations, not his polling organization. And so they're backing him. They don't know what Bitcoin is, but they love it because he says it's cool, right? And so people all over El Salvador, I talked to people there and they said, bars, restaurants, anybody that likes his president has already learned how to use Bitcoin. They're getting the wallets. They're trying to use it. They're offering, to take Bitcoin at their bars and stuff, even before the government's Chivo version rolls out, because they're trying to get ahead of it. And they just love this leader because he's reduced crime by 2/3. Many people know of El Salvador as the murder capital of the world. And for the last 30 years, the country was in this political stalemate with two parties, sort of a left and a right party, which are probably all the same people and the same families. A lot of these countries have like 12 families that run everything. And they just had, a handful of people that lived on the hilltops with armed guards that scooped up all the wealth and all the power. And then down in the ghettos were all the ordinary people that were ruled by the world's most vicious and sadistic street gangs. And which El Salvador is famous for. And so this president came in and they swept in with their people. They arrested zillions of people. They took away all the cell phones and ability to communicate from all of the people they arrested. And crime has dropped by 2/3 now in the country, bringing it so it's no longer out of line with the rest of Central America, like Costa Rica, where I've lived for the last 15 years. And they're rebranding the country as a surf and ecotourism destination and working on making it the world's most friendly place to do business for blockchain and crypto companies. So they literally asked us, they made public announcements to Brock and the team and said, we want your advice. Tell us what to do. We want to know what kind of laws you need, what kind of business climate you want, because we want to attract the entire crypto and blockchain world to set up shop here and run their companies from here. We'll give you the environment you need to get people trained in this. And they want to export knowledge and know-how. What they see is long-term, the Salvadoran people, all these people graduating from college and high school that have not had a lot of opportunity, can learn about, be the first in Central America to learn about blockchain and crypto, and they'll be in demand. They'll be exporting their skills and their talents across the Latin American world because they speak Spanish, and that will bring a lot of money and power to El Salvador to be at the forefront, not just worldwide, but especially across Latin America, of what they see as a massively growing space. The president, like us, is a Bitcoin and crypto market cap of crypto going from 2 trillion to 100 trillion or so over the next 5 to 10 years. And so he's thinking long term, very strategically, very much like the Chinese do about technology. He's making long term bets and working on sort of doing what he can to suppress the short term FUD machines that are being run by his opposition that have lost all power and credibility since he was elected.
Right. Wow. It's pretty amazing. So you said you're going back, what was it, 4th through the 11th or something like that?
4th through the 11th of September, yeah. And
one of
the other things we're going to do, we don't know when, but there's going to be like a crypto or Bitcoin vacation week. And we're planning with Bitcoin Ben and some of the influencers to basically have a week wherever we invite all of our friends, all of our fans, not just Divi, but across the entire crypto world to come and see El Salvador and spend Bitcoin and give these people that are taking it a reason to, or pressure the ones that are not to say, hey, I would have bought this if you were taking Bitcoin, but now I'm walking out the door, because it is optional. The
of course.
The country is a little bit scared. They've been bombarded with the same kind of FUD that everybody else gets, and so they're worried about Bitcoin. They're worried about taking it. So we need to go there as a group, and it's very important to the crypto space, because if this fails, then I think it could bring on a crypto winter, because every country in the world is going to be the people that don't like Bitcoin will be using this as a FUD vector, right? They'll be talking about how El Salvador tried it, it doesn't work, nobody wants Bitcoin, why do we need this thing, and that'll take a long time to get past. Now, on the other hand, if we can make it work, then it can work anywhere. And that's because El Salvador is probably the world's most difficult climate for Bitcoin to succeed in, because it has to compete directly against the US dollar. Most countries in Latin America or Africa and a lot of places where we thought this would get adopted first are countries that have a national currency that the people don't trust very much. They don't like their banks, they don't trust them, there's a lot of corruption. So it's easier for Bitcoin to compete against that, because the instability of it doesn't seem that bad. But when you're competing directly against the dollar, it's a much tougher battle. And so if this is why the stakes are so high for what's going on, and why so many visionaries in the space are interested in participating and are taking a look at El Salvador, because we know that if we fail there, it could be sort of disastrous for the whole crypto scene for a while. And if we succeed, it becomes a blueprint for the entire rest of the world to take on Bitcoin and cryptos. This is a big, very important moment, and in 10 years, it's very likely that the whole crypto scene will look back as one of the most important pivotal moments in the history of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, definitely. I could see that. Well, I have a lot of confidence that it's going to work out, especially with all the people that are contributing so much of their time and effort to make sure that it does go forward and it is a success. But yeah, they are, the whole world's watching at the moment. But I'm glad that you're down there, boots on the ground, not just for Divi, but for the space as a whole. It's important to have as many people there as possible. Maybe I'll come join you in a couple of weeks down there in El Salvador as well, and see if we can't tag team it together. Well, yeah, I really just wanted to chat with you briefly. I know that we couldn't get you on live tomorrow, but I really appreciate you taking some time to just make this video with me today. Is there anything that we're missing? I know there's a million things that we can always talk about. Obviously, El Salvador was one of the biggest things. Obviously, the transition in leadership was another big thing. Is there any other huge or exciting projects that you want to give an update on before we close out?
No, it's always risky to talk about things that haven't happened yet. There's certain projects for Divi that I've been working on little by little over the many years, right? And at a few times, I've thrown a whole bunch of personal money at them. I've probably spent, I calculated the other day, I've spent more than $600,000 over the last 12 months working on building stuff for the Divi ecosystem, use cases. We're about to release the world's first original NFT-based comic books. I thought they were going to be the first ever NFT comic books, but my roommate showed me about 30 minutes ago that Marvel and Vivi platform released some comic books this morning, thought like 6 hours ago.
Oh, they got you.
We were like we're just days away, right? But these are just reprints, sort of like huge numbers of reprints of old comics. So they don't really count, you know.
So first original.
First original comic books. And also ours are animated and they're interactive and they've got a lot of cool stuff.
And we're dropping one soon in the fall together, right?
Yeah. We have a whole bunch of cool stuff to do with comic books and stuff that's unique. There's many companies working on comic books right now because as far as NFTs go, it's very exciting for many reasons. And just as an example, like we have if you guys have seen it, the Siege Worlds video game that we're working on, we actually have a playable version right now, although it doesn't really look like the game that will be released as far as the game mechanics. You can at least see that it exists. But we're trying to get it so that this first comic, you can get 1 or 2 weapons within the game, within the comic book. So like the super rare and the rare, basically the top 2 rarest tiers will include 1 or 2 weapons that you can only get from that game, and they relate to the most popular characters in the game. So I think that those will be very powerful, and they'll be more powerful than other things you'll be able to get. And so they're going to be very sought after because they're paid to play games. So if you own those weapons, you can earn more money than other people. Give it at the
you
same
mean play to earn?
Yeah, play to earn. What did I say? Yeah, play to earn. Exactly. So they're going to be very sought after, and nobody's ever done anything. Well, nobody's released a comic book at all, but when people see what we're doing with it and how we can do this crossover between different things, it opens up a whole world of new opportunities. There are dozens and dozens of cool ideas between comics and games and other media that people are going to sort of have their eyes open to. There'll be a lot of light bulbs going off from other NFT creators, and so that's going to be very exciting. And I think that all the big players will follow.
That's awesome. Yeah, super exciting. I got to play a little bit of the alpha. I love that it's on Mac now. It's coming along for sure. It looks and feels a lot better than like one of the very, very early pre-alpha games I played. Obviously, I've been watching Lightning Works. This first Siege Worlds comic is going to be sweet. And then some of the other stuff that's coming forth. So yeah, it's great that that these things are all moving forward. There's always a million other things I'm sure going on. So we'll just have to have you back on maybe next month to chat about it a little bit more, as to not monopolize too much of this episode. But yeah, I mean, thanks again, man, for coming on, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And so everybody, don't worry. I'm still out there every day working on a zillion things for Divi. You're going to see a lot of cool things roll out over the next year. So
cool. Okay. I'll talk to you soon, man.
Okay. Thanks, Nick. Bye.
All right. Oh, man, it's always good to talk to Jeff, even if it's pre-recorded. I still got to experience it live. So thank you guys. Also, I saw all the comments saying happy birthday to Jeff. I also saw somebody ask if I'm on a 90s webcam, which made me laugh incredibly hard. I'm not, but I can understand why you might think that. So let's keep the episode rolling along and get into some Divi updates. Yeah. Right. So 3 big things. First of all, we have Hummingbot. You guys remember Hummingbot? We had one of their leadership come on. They are the basically centralized automated market maker for Divi. We partnered with them to help provide liquidity to the market through individuals who want to provide their own liquidity and earn rewards. It went very well. Actually, they provided quite a bit of liquidity to our market. A lot of the trades that were executed were them. Of course, we have our own market makers that we employ, but a lot of the trades actually ended up going through the Hummingbot market makers as well this past month or 2. So we're going to extend it for another 12 weeks, and we're actually going to do it on 2 exchanges now. So we did it on KuCoin, but now Hummingbot has integration with AscendX. So we're going to do 2 concurrent campaigns. I'm very excited about this. Basically, the same rewards and spread opportunity that existed the last time will exist again. So, get out there, get trading, and earn those additional rewards. I find that it's a great way to just deploy my excess capital. If I have a little bit more than what my masternode requires, but not enough to stake substantially, I'll throw it in the Hummingbot, and it's a good way to earn a little bit of extra crypto on your crypto. So the next big announcement is Dubai. We will be in Dubai. There are actually two conferences on the same day. There's the World Blockchain Summit and the Crypto Expo Dubai. We're researching right now which one is the one to be at. But one way or another, we will be there the 13th and the 14th of October. So October 13th and 14th. If you can make it out to Dubai, I know it's a long flight for pretty much all of us, but well, maybe not all of us. Come on out, join the Divi team. We will be speaking. We will have a large presence there. It'll be my first time in the UAE. I'm very excited about it. I do have friends out there, both native and non-native. So I'm excited. I'm excited to get out there and see what it's all about. I know it's huge for crypto. There's actually a ton of interest now. There was a lot of interest in Dubai during the 2017, 2018 bull run. A lot of people got burned. I mean, who didn't? But now the interest has been reinvigorated. There's a lot of money out there, of course, going into the space. So we're excited to get out there and see what kind of opportunities we can drum up. Finally, there are new assets on the website. You can actually go to the footer of the website, so the very bottom of the website, and it's the community design assets. And it's literally everything. It's a whole zipped folder with stickers and PNG files. It's not just like the logo and stuff, but like actual video files, GIFs, all the fonts. All the fonts that we use throughout the website are open sourced. Of course, they're just public fonts anyway, but we give you the full, everything's downloadable, installable right from the zip. We're hoping that it'll make it easier for you guys to get creative on social media. I see a lot of amazing memes and cool, fun GIFs and stuff like that coming out all the time. And hopefully this just makes it easier for you guys to continue to be creative or get more creative even. All right, enough with the Divi updates. Let's get into the actual projects and ventures. So one thing that I'm really excited about in the coming month, so not this month, but next month, we're going to have Chris Irola joined us last month as our chief product officer. And he's come on and he's really helped us refine our workflows and things like that alongside our project managers. He's going to be coming on every month, actually, pretty much in this Projects and Ventures segment to talk about the roadmap. We hear you on the roadmap. I hear it all the time. It needs to be more granular. It needs to have more, specific dates and things like that. We want that too, but we also want to be accurate. Nothing is worse in crypto than a delayed product, right? And we've experienced it multiple times. Pretty much every single project in the history of crypto has experienced, and really in the history of tech, has experienced delays. It just happens. But with proper scoping and a little bit more attention to detail, and a dedicated person looking at all of this stuff, I think we have the opportunity by the end of the year at least to really give those refined and defined deadlines. With that said, Spanish language support is going to be launched in September. I am very excited about this because it's in anticipation of our move into Latin America. You just saw the video of Jeff. He's going down to El Salvador to talk to the government and the other entrepreneurs that are hanging out down there and building new things. It's important that we have, of course, a lot of the El Salvadorian people do speak English, but it's important that we have native language support for the people that will ultimately be using it. We actually have a quick video, I think, a demo to show you what Spanish language is going to look like. Awesome. So what's cool about this, pretty standard stuff, right? You go into your settings, you change the language. What's cool about it is we've set it up so that we can quickly and easily add new languages. So when we go into Germany, or we go into other countries that are that require, the local language to be in the wallet, we already set up for that. So that's fun. Staking vaults are incredible. I would say like 98% complete if I had to give you a percentage. So much so that they are going into security. As you guys know, this is a standard that every firm should have, but it's a standard that I will always keep. We have to have a security audit done before we put any new major feature out to the community. This is your money. This is our money, right? This is everyone's actual money. And you do, of course, own the keys and everything, but it's our responsibility to build technologies that are safe, secure, and easy to use, right? So the security audit is about to commence. The testers will have the final version ASAP, and then it'll come out. So let's check out the final version. We have a video of what it'll ultimately look like. All right. Yeah. So this is the culmination of a lot of hard work. As you guys know, the staking vaults are one of the most groundbreaking features in the mobile wallet, and really one of the most groundbreaking features in the blockchain, because it is one of the most unique staking mechanisms in the space. Um, we're going to start hyping this up pretty big time. We've had our first initial meeting with marketing about this. We're actually, talking about patenting it maybe, because it is that unique. We've already done the analysis. There's just no other thing like it that allows you to stake from a mobile phone or from anywhere in a centralized fashion, without sacrificing your keys and without sending your coin somewhere to some centralized third party and without delegating your stake to another node. Um, it's just freaking cool. And to make it this easy has been incredibly difficult. There's like literally, I can't tell you how many little things that can possibly go wrong or go haywire that we've had to fix and make sure that they won't happen in production. I mean, I can't tell you how excited I am, because it really, really is a game changer when it comes to staking. And staking is still incredibly popular in this space. We see it all the time. Of course, there's big staking pools that are yielding like 1,000% or whatever, but those things aren't sustainable. At a 25% rate of return, the Divi staking nodes are incredibly sustainable. We've seen that over the past 4+ years. So I'm very excited for that to finally roll out. I'm very excited to see what our security third-party audit comes back and says. And we'll, of course, keep you updated on that. Now, with the rollout of the Spanish language and the staking vaults, we are going to also have subscriptions rolling out for nodes and for staking vaults. So both will require a subscription, but they will both be similarly to how Mochi works right now, just a flat fee. So it doesn't it's not scaled in a weird way so that you're paying an unknown amount. You're just paying the exact same amount. So if Divi goes up in value, you're paying the same amount, you're making more over top of the subscription fee. We charge the subscription fee because obviously we're managing servers. Servers are very expensive in this quantity that we have to run them in. So I hope you guys understand that, that's just the business side of it, but we try to keep it as fair as humanly possible within the realm of possibility, for continuing to operate this service. So everything will be adjusted across all of the desktop and mobile wallet, all of the subscriptions and everything like that will update pretty much at the same time. So just keep watching out for more information on that. All right. So we've gotten through pretty much all of the fun, well, not all the fun stuff. Actually, probably the most fun thing is about to happen. We have a very, very special guest. As you guys know, we have been discussing our institutional partner for a while, and we're happy to finally be able to bring them on board, as well as announce the name of the firm. So I have with me today, this evening, this morning for some of you, or this late night, Omar Westerberg, who founded Viva Capital Management, which is a firm, full-service cryptocurrency firm, where he serves as the managing partner. Welcome aboard, Omar.
Hey Nick, g'day. How you doing?
Hey man, thank you so much for taking some time out of your incredibly busy schedule, and seems like it's getting more and more busy to come and chat with
It
us.
is. It's good to be here, man. I appreciate it. Very grateful for the opportunity to speak to the audience and to hang out with you. So it's good times ahead.
Good times ahead, and I couldn't agree more. So why don't we just jump right into the conversation? I want to let the crowd know, the people watching, they've been incredibly patient with us leading up to this announcement. So why don't we just start with the basics? Who is Viva, and what's your journey so far?
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, thanks again. Look, Viva is pretty straightforward. We're a full-service cryptocurrency firm. We help investors provide, done-for-you solutions for investors in crypto, in various areas. So that means managed portfolios, programs, OTC. We do legal structuring, capital gains, tax minimization, and we have a range of private portfolios as well, which is initially where we ended up with Divi. So no, it's pretty exciting where things are going. I think in the very beginning, like when we first heard about Divi, if I think back, shout out to Divi Daddy, who was the first introducer to get Divi onto my radar and what we're doing as a company. So that's effectively where we kicked it off, and mostly around the masternode side of things. So, for example, our clients, we typically help people who have at least $100,000 US or more to invest into projects. And effectively, we had this incredible demand in our community of people who wanted to be involved with like the Divi masternodes. But they, there's a service element there of people who want to do it themselves, but there's also a service element for people who they have the money, but they don't want to learn any of the tech, no matter how good Divi makes it, because it's so simple with Divi. And that's, how we got involved with them in the beginning.
That's awesome.
So,
Yeah, no, I mean, that's great. And it's interesting how you have this sort of managed service. I think a lot of the people in our community have, taken various steps to get to the point where they can invest in a masternode. I know I've helped people through certain processes where they're, using a self-directed IRA and stuff like that. Is that something you guys help out with too, right?
Yeah, big time. So we have a few, we've got services, we've got programs. One of the big ones that we help people do specifically now, we have a program called a Retirement Accelerator, where we help people set up a crypto IRA specifically. And, there's a bunch of online platforms that, supposedly help people use their IRA funds to invest in crypto. And I won't get into detail too much about them, but there's a lot of problems with stuff that is out there. But our philosophy is that you want full freedom and autonomy of your money and your wealth, and to protect it and how to use it. Same with your IRA funds. Like I probably don't need to go into detail about the future of the US dollar and the problems that it has, and the retirement system in the USA, and the government's own data shows that, the retirement problem is they're going to be bankrupt before 2030 on the retirement system here. So there's a lot of issues there. So people wanting to use their IRA funds specifically for Divi and very specifically for masternodes is there's a lot of demand for that. So something that we've helped people do is just do all the legal work, the administration, the rolling over process, and all the ability to acquire Divi, that whole thing end to end, so that, you know, if somebody has a portfolio of Divi and wants to portfolio of, you know, US dollars and wants to invest into crypto, specifically Divi, we can get it all done for them. You know, one particular story, I'll give you a real-time example here of a gentleman that we're working with who's come to us. He's got about 500 and a bit over 500,000 in his IRA. He's been working as an engineer for over 30 years now. He's over 60 years old, and he's at the time he wants to relax and, you know, start unwinding, you know, his work and retire. And he sees Divi, specifically the masternodes, as a way to do that. You know, instead of earning 0% almost in cash US dollar on his 500,000, suddenly he's now in Divi's universe, and he's gone, well, I can basically have the choice to have the yield from a diamond node and then have the choice not to work anymore. You know, that's the kind of stuff that is really powerful to us and what we want to help people do. So definitely, we help a lot of people with IRAs, and it's growing very quickly with IRAs.
That's really cool. That's really cool. I guess, you know, I think a lot of our community would like to know what led you to Divi. I mean, obviously you said Divi Daddy introduced you, and shout out to Divi Daddy for that. But obviously you could lead a horse to the water, but what helped you drink?
Yeah, good question. There's really two things. One is I think Divi has pretty much the best use case possible that you can have, and that is making things accessible and easy to use. From an adoption point of view, the user experience is ultra important to me. That oftentimes throughout history, you can look at anything. Not all the time the best product will win, and it's usually because of adoption, either in marketing or a good use case that allows people to actually onboard it. That's the big thing I love about Divi, because I mean, from Viva's point of view, our whole focus is doing the right thing for people and a done for you solution. And if you can make it easy, that's what we love. The second part of it, though, is as good as you got a good product, you still have to have the technology and the right people behind it as well. Anybody that gets to work with us, and we're very much a values-based organization. You know, I'm Australian, if you can't tell, but, you know, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on this episode, but in Australia, we've got the beer and red wine test. You know, if you're not able to sit down with someone human to human and spend some intimate time with them, then do you really want to be working with them? And that's, you know, from a values point of view, I believe, like you and the team behind Divi, and the key word here is your intention about what you're creating, is ultra important as well. So I think if you put those two together, I can't see how it, you know, can fail because of that. You know, yes, you've got to have the technology. Yes, you've got to have the team, all the resources and so on that you know about running a business. As you know, all of that has to work. But that's the two ingredients that I really love the most.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say thank you. Of course, I appreciate you saying that. But sitting down with your team in Texas and having the beer and wine test, so to speak, and having, you know, breaking bread together is what we call it here in the U.S., or at least where I grew up. Having that opportunity with you and your team, it really did change things. And I think it opened up the door to a lot more than just money coming in the door. I think our relationship can evolve and develop in a lot of different ways. This partnership has a lot of room to grow. What are some of the ways that you see, you know, us working together outside of just the straight up, you know, Divi buying and setting up masternodes for your clients?
Yeah, look, masternodes, acquiring Divis, OTC, things like that. We're working together. That's going to be pretty cool. In the future, you know, as per Jeff's video, I can't give a timeline or, you know, a particular prediction, but some of the things that I foresee us working on. We have a lot of investors and people coming to us for international structuring, you know, because specifically US citizens, they want control of their money outside of the banking system, outside of control of the US government in the case of a default or confiscation, increasing wealth taxes. How do they do that? And that's stuff we help them set up, you know, specifically in Latin America, but also in Asia, with my background, and, you know, different countries on how to get tax-free growth on your investing. And coming back to Divi, where I see this as really important is I think Divi is going to give business owners and people who set up their estate planning from a wealth point of view, the ability to use their money simply for everyday spending and life. So a real practical example would be, let's say somebody has $1 million portfolio. It's outside of the US system and it's outside of the banking system. Then how do you then integrate that so you can actually spend it on your day-to-day life?
Right.
And that's where I think the key is going to come in with Divi in the future. That's what I'm really excited about.
That's really unique and interesting, I think. And I think other things will pop up even as we develop and hang out more, and our own businesses develop, exclusive of one another too. Okay, so I have other things that I want to ask, but I also want to turn it over to the community and help answer some of those questions. Before we do turn it over to the community for the Viva questions, I wanted to address one thing. So let's roll the thing, and then I'll answer this question. Cool. All right, now, as you guys know, we have a suggestion form online. If you don't know where to find it, ask in Telegram, and we'll give you the link. This question I thought was really good, and I answered it earlier on in the episode, but I wanted to address it again. You guys know I don't ever skip hard questions just because they're hard, and I thought this was actually a great suggestion and something that we have thought about as well. So the question says, update the roadmap to add more detail. We've had a few comments about this. This is indicative that the community needs things to look forward to, even if it's in Q3 of 2023. At least then we can effectively market to our own friends and family who are going to want some kind of estimation before they buy, and additionally solidify our own faith in our own investments. Any kind of approximate dates will be invaluable in aiding us to provide effective grassroots outreach. Now, I believe you, and I agree 100%. And it is coming. Like I said, we haven't really had, and we kind of never adhered to like a specific scope or specific deadlines. A lot of the stuff we're building is really hard to predict how long it's going to take, especially things like staking vaults and Mochi and things of that nature that were being built out of thin air. That said, and that's why we removed dates in the early days. With that said, we want to provide more accuracy. And that's why Chris Irola is working so hard to build this new strategy around our product management. And he wants to have a precision of about 70% accuracy at a 1 month resolution by the end of 2021. And he's going to be coming on next month to talk to you guys and talk more about that stuff. So I just wanted to address that one thing. Now we can go back to the Viva thing and see if we have any questions. And if you have questions at all, obviously throw them up and we'll answer for the next 6 minutes or so. Okay, Deborah, thanks for the question. Thank you, Viva Capital, Omar Westerberg, Divi Daddy, Papa Joe, Litecoin Leader, Justin Harper, Michelle. And I have to throw in Jim Flanagan as well. I know that you're not thanking him directly in this, but he is a huge part of why we're able to do what we do. For managing my Divi Masternode and providing retirement solutions for me. This is amazing that one of your clients is actually on the line here. Yeah, I mean, you're welcome, I guess.
You're welcome. Yeah. You're welcome. No, it's good. Look, we're trying not to yell from the ceiling too much, but we prefer to let our actions talk. We've got a lot of similar feedback from people we're working with. And I think it really comes down to just the alignment of interest. Like it's the same with what you said before about Divi. It's your responsibility to create safe and usable technology, but at the end of the day, it's the results of the individual, and that's the philosophy we have. We just want to help people.
Definitely. So Vivek, he's a big community supporter and holds masternodes, I'm pretty sure. He says, Viva, I have a self-directed IRA. Just happened to talk to some folks last night about it. What would you say is the best way to engage with you for them to set one up?
Yeah, sure. Look, with an IRA, step one is just having a look at what you can and can't do with it. One of the biggest mistakes that happens when people set up their IRA self-directed is they do not have permissions to invest or to own certain crypto. Like, for example, If you already have it set up, you need to check with your custodian or your operating agreement to see if you can invest into a masternode or do staking or lending or anything like that. If you've got that all covered, then it's pretty easy, opening account and getting things up and running. But if you need that kind of work done, then just reach out to the Divi team or come to our website, vivacapital.io. We'll help you out, get you pointed in the right direction. But it really comes down to the first step is a discussion to find out what you've got, so that we don't give you the wrong advice per se.
Yeah, and we'll make sure to post all of the information about Viva, of course, in the show notes blog that comes out after the show. I'm sure we can drop it in Kyle, if you're listening, in the live tweets. We'll make sure if you guys have questions that you guys have full access to Viva. Obviously, they're a partner of ours. They'll be on the site and everything like that. Okay, so now Zach, what's up, Zach? Says, does this mean eventually we'll see crypto IRAs in the Divi wallet?
Potentially. I'd say what'll happen first is you may not see it in the wallet, but you would use the wallet for your IRA. So what that means specifically is, again, the most important part with the IRA is that you set it up with permissions that you have 100% control of your own money. Again, the big mistake that a lot of people do is they connect their IRA to like a platform, and then it goes into some pooled fund and it's restricted on some random exchange, and they're limited in what they can do. And then if they ever get hacked, they lose all their money, and it's very easy to get set up, but it's not safe and controlled. We're all about you having full safety and custody and control over what you need with your funds. And, working with Divi would be about how do we make that so you can use it, rather than there's the balance. What's the word, Nick? The balance between usability and security. We got to find the middle ground. Yeah.
100%. We're always on that. We're always on that journey and
Right.
on that search. Okay, this is another good one from Jay Mock. Is Viva able to help Divi and crypto users as a whole with crypto tax reporting? What countries do you operate in? Kind of a two-part.
So tax reporting, we are working fast now to help provide a solution in that area, because it's 1 in 4 of our investors are asking for a tax return solution. It's very, very big. This is not capital gains tax. This is just the annual requirements for holding crypto, what to submit to the IRS and all that kind of stuff. Viva as a company, we're actually a Singaporean company. They've got a friendly crypto framework around the jurisdiction there. That's why we're domiciled there in regards to what we do. And, I can get through the whole global structure of what we have. But in regards to tax reporting, it depends what country you're in. We're partnering with a firm to roll out US based taxation help for crypto holders. We'll probably have it before the end of the year, but we don't have it right now.
Awesome. Next question is from Master Halo 40. The Divi team, basically, are the Divi team thinking in the future to add a tier in nodes that is less than the copper, for example, 50,000? So our answer to this is the staking vaults will allow people with any amount of Divi to stake. And we believe that this is a good current answer, at least short to midterm answer to the lower tiers, so to speak. Because also staking currently, especially for the lower tiers, is slightly a better rate of return. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool how we've set up this new staking vault, and with the subscriptions, you guys will see it all soon. But yeah, that's kind of our thoughts on that right now. Well, we're right at, it's 9 for me actually, but we're right at 6 p.m. PST. Omar, man, thank you so much for coming on. What we're going to do is we're going to have you guys on our podcast as well, so we can do a much deeper dive and really dig into some of the more detailed and granular questions. And we'll probably try to gather some more questions from the community for that as well. So guys, look out for that. Once again, Omar, thank you for hopping on.
Thanks for having me, Nick. It's great to be here, and look forward to the future. Yeah,
definitely. Me too. Okay, guys, as you know where to find us online. It's at Divi Project on all the social medias. It's diviproject.org for all the information that your heart desires. Look out for our recap blog. Go hit up the live tweets on Twitter and retweet everything. Give this video a like. Subscribe to the channel if you love Divi. Shout out to Jeff McCabe once more for his birthday, 53 years young. Shout out again to Omar Westerberg from Viva Capital, our new institutional hedge fund partner. I'm done for the night. I haven't been out of this hotel room for more than about 5 hours this whole trip. So maybe I'll actually take a step outside for once. But you guys have a great night, and I will see you guys next time.